All right, today we're going to dive into Helium, the project, get a little bit closer with it, what's happening, give us a kind of an update of the status of the network, all that good stuff right here. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into TechPath. Helium, we've had on the show a couple of times. Their CEO and founder has been here talking about kind of the growth strategy, where they're going with the overall project itself. We're going to break down and give you guys kind of an update today because there are some things happening within Helium which I think also can spill over into other tokens and projects within Web3 that are using real-world use cases. That's one of the factors in to utility that a lot of people miss in the cryptocurrency world is, do projects really provide a utility source? And Helium is one that does a pretty good job. Here's a first news item. Helium price prediction is the 5G ecosystem is continuing to grow. And just to give you an example of the kind of growth they're seeing in partnerships, one of the biggest players in the network is Dish Network, one of the biggest couriers in the comm industry. It's also partnered with GigsGuy, a leading platform that offers its mobile data plan. You also got Helium, which has also started its 5G platform as the second wireless that is supported by the network. In a statement this week, the developers launched a proof of coverage, which is how they work on proof of coverage is how they work on mining, which is what if you have any Helium miner, maybe you don't know a lot about Helium, check out some of our videos because we break down how the miners work, how you can get paid in Helium. That's the whole concept behind Helium itself, which makes it a utilitarian product. But back to their point here, with these rewards, investors will be able to earn HNT on a compatible 5G device as it sends data. So that's a big deal for 5G because I think we're going to see a lot more in terms of, especially on POC, which they call proof of coverage. So it's a good thing. These are good news items. The other thing is that Nokia-backed VC invests in crypto mining network, meaning Helium. This is just here recently, talking quite a bit about it, but this is NGP Capital, which is a Silicon Valley venture firm, single limited partner in Nokia. Recently, a firm announced an investment in Nova Labs. That's the name of the company that was known as Helium. Now it's Nova Labs, mainly because I think they're looking at expanding out within the telecom system and industry. So a lot happening here. Nokia felt this was an interesting approach to building networks in a world where network building has become expensive, said NGP Capital partner. And he said also Nokia sees Helium's network as a potential component or complement to traditional wireless since it can offload carrier traffic. That to me is probably one of the sleeping giant aspects of Helium and why it matters so much to the industry, especially blockchain and how Web3 will be developed. So, all right, so as you can see here, what's next for Helium's 5G data and transfer proof of coverage rewards is the big news story. Again, the 5G was approved, so that kind of brings it into really what all this is about around these partnerships with both Dish and GigsGuy. So I think this really starts to line up Helium as a strategic, I think a strategic player in the Web3 space because this is very key on any kind of projects that really do have use case and utility, and that's one of the things that they've done. Here was a little bit of their information shortly after the 5D announcement. Freedom5, which is one of their miners, showed a demo implementation of the HIP-27 on the Helium testnet. I know a lot of this is getting into a little bit of sweaty nerd stuff for you guys, and the main thing is that Helium, the miners, now operate on 5G. 5Gs work with most modern cell phones. This is the cell towers that are being built out all across America and the world that would enable faster data throughput. Simple, easy to understand, which simply means there's going to be a lot more traffic and carrier traffic, which is why Nokia is now looking at investing in here through their VC because of the carrier traffic scenario that faces 5G network build out. Does that make sense? Hopefully you understand that what you need to help buffer these networks is offload, and offload traffic is the Helium network. That's why a lot of people are pointing to Helium becoming a huge pump for opportunity in Web3. So lots happening here. You can kind of see a little bit about their app. Let me kind of shoot out a little bit here, give you guys a little bit of look. But this is their new app. An initial build on the witnessing device is already underway. Testing has begun locally in the recent, the point of POC, and then you got Bay Area down below, core devs, kind of working on this. Once the prototype is complete, the right path forward for data aggregation and ultimately rewards, which is when you're going to get paid if you've got a miner, is determined, and the Nova Labs team will be working on plans to make these available to the public. So lots happening here on the Helium network, and definitely with what they're doing strategically, I think a lot of this is really going to start to ramp up for them. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more partnerships starting to roll out because of the 5G integration. Once we see more and more of 5G in use and data, data carriage fees starting to really shift over to maybe IoT kind of scenarios, which is what Helium is really capable of, this could get big pretty quick. This was a little post that they put up right here. New day, new utility brought by the Helium community. Working on real-world water management system project on this. This again gets back into, you guys don't realize this, but there is a lot of low latency traffic that goes out over IoT, Internet of Things, that run on 5G and also on lower bandwidth in the FCC spectrums. The reason is that most of these don't need a regular cell communication tower, so they need these low bandwidth, low requirement data capacity networks that in the past were a little bit hard to come by, which gets into the whole aspect of why Helium could be a big power player here. So lots happening in the right direction. Now, if you think about the market itself, the telecom services market size, just to give you an idea here, this thing is insane in terms of the value. But if you look at fixed voice services, fixed internet access services, mobile, machine to machine, this is mobile IoT. That is the one that's right here at the little top of each one of these charts. This is going to continue to grow right now. When you look at this in terms of market size, this is in billions moving up the chart to 2028. Here we are in 2018 at over $500 billion. We're probably going to be somewhere in the range of around 1.5 to 2 trillion in this market. So when you look at global opportunity here, consumers and marketers alike are getting more acquainted with OTT, also moving into this. There are so many different scenarios that play into the opportunity for what Helium could be in the future. So I think a lot of people are leaning in because of that very feature. All right, so I want to thank our sponsors today, and that is Emrit.io. When you're thinking about helium mining, this is the company to maybe take a look at because it is one thing that they're approaching, and that is the ease and process to actually start and getting going on mining. So right now you can actually order a device, which that's probably one of the biggest things that you face right now on helium miners is the lead time to get one of the miners in and to you. With Emrit, you actually can get the miner very quickly. You order it, you can activate it, and then start mining. You go through a process of setups. I like the fact that, one, they're a Helium partner, and when you look at partnerships, I think this is a key thing in any kind of project, is you need that kind of solidity that kind of connects these big projects with projects like what you're seeing here with Emrit. So one-time hosting fee is what you're up against, and then a mining share of 50%. This, I think, is going to really start to ramp up as we see more and more technology lean in on this, including things like 5G, a lot of IoT traffic starting to move in. So the demand for this kind of network architecture is going to be very, very serious. If you're looking at going into Emrit for Business, they can go in and start developing or work with you in developing a fleet for your businesses. So depending on how you are going about this, whether you're doing it as an individual or maybe as a business, you can look at deploying a whole layer of Emrit devices and going with this same approach. So, and you can kind of see here, there's a lot of different use cases for this, from retail franchise systems, public spaces, commercial real estate, property, utility monitoring, all sorts of things that really kind of play into the enterprise side of this. So make sure and check out Emrit.io. I want to thank them for sponsoring this episode. So you think, all right, well, this is great, Paul. Helium's partnering, they're building on this 5G thing, there's some more, but what's really driving the price? Then you've got this ecosystem post right here with Microsoft Azure, which is the IoT Central. This, of course, has all been partnershiped up with Helium now. So now you've got the Helium console working with what's happening within the IoT Azure program within Microsoft. So again, a lot of this is enterprise development level stuff, but it's very, very important in main architecture of how tech runs around our world. And the fact that Helium is now starting to connect with companies like Microsoft, you've got Nokia backing them, you've got this great rollout, and then you have their ecosystem. And they have a really good explanation of how this product and solution is being utilized in real world scenarios. So right here, there's users. This gets into indoor, outdoor lighting, location tracking, agriculture, which is huge, air quality monitoring. You've got art collection monitoring. Again, these are awesome, tool sets. Internet of Beer, I love that one. Environmental solutions. Then you've got commercial applications around transportation. Cardinal Peak, which is project launch support on what they're doing on Cardinal Peak, and then CareBand. This is elderly care and monitoring. There's so many different use cases here, and this is just on being able to use it, much less the resources that they've really kind of built around the whole ecosystem, which goes into their overall hotspot distribution. 1.3 billion in block height, market price now at 1541, and you've got 780,000 hotspots out there. So if you can kind of see the eastern US right there, kind of zoom in here a little bit where we are. Florida's got a nice little run. I mean, this almost looks like coverage of a cell tower scenario. If you think about how they're connecting into 5G, I think this will follow along a lot of the corridors around 5G. So a lot happening with that. Now let's take a look at the chart, because that's really what you came for. Is it going to move the price, and will the price hold? And are we seeing maybe a potential bump on Helium? If you look at where they've been going, just a few days ago, April 29th, they had a 69, 81, and a 67, and Helium was falling. This news comes out on the 5G release, and then bam, right off the floor, it comes at a 71.45 and a 71.94, which means that we're going to see a continuous pump on where Helium is going. And that to me is a big deal, because when you've got an AMP score that starts to score better than sentiment, it usually indicates you've got movement upwards, just like right here. You had that nice little fly. And then I think we are in for a little bit of movement upwards. Now, can it make it up here to 20 bucks is the question. I think this is where we're going to see a little bit of resistance right in this area. So whether or not it can make it and pull all the way to $20 is a big question mark. I'm interested, I'm going to be talking and tracking Helium pretty closely. And as you guys know, it is in the power index, which if you are on our website and maybe you're a part of the CPI already, if you're not, when you jump to the new page, you're going to see some new stuff here. One is the dashboard. This is where you'd get to Helium. The CPI Home is going to give you the overall market sentiments with everything, along with alts and metaverse, etc. But what you want is top crypto. Get in there, and it's going to go into the 15 tokens, and we're building on this. The likelihood is we're trying to get to 50 tokens by the end of the year. And these are tokens that we select, but also that are mostly by market cap and what our audience selects of what you guys want to track. But I'll jump over here to Helium real quick. And this is where you can kind of take a look at this little curvature right here. We started to see a little bit of movement, 68, 27, and 70, and then we had 69 and this 68.93, this upward trend on amplification that starts to move Helium up. And these are the things that we do drop on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And occasionally what we'll do is also drop in data on our analysis videos, which are where I break down things that we don't do here on the show. So when you're on the main page, just click over here to video analysis. It'll take you into there's a piece I did on Steppen. Here's an analysis when it breaks the 37K mark and what you should be looking at on Bitcoin. So you can get to all this on the CPI. Of course, if you guys are listening in over on the podcast, the best thing to do is jump over here to the YouTube channel. It's where we jump into all these analysis and we break down these analytics, especially around sentiment and a lot of the TA side of things. So make sure and join us here on YouTube. And best of all, if you're out on Twitter, make sure and tweet at me. It's @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.